Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and this is the weekly angel card reading for the week beginning December the 5th and running to the 9th, 2016. Remembering that I do the Saturday and Sunday on my social media and not part of this video because I don't want to make it too long for you guys, and also it's a lot of information to retain. So don't forget that I do post the cards on social media each day as well, so you don't have to remember exactly what's going to happen during the week, but I think it kind of, seeing this video helps kind of plant it at the back of your mind, and then it'll come to the fore when those circumstances arise that you need to remember it the most. And of course, social media, I go into a bit more detail as well, so that can be really helpful. So we'll start with Monday the 5th of December. I'm shuffling the cards and we'll see what the angels want us to know for this week so that we can make good choices and can navigate our way through challenges. Blessing in disguise. There's an old saying about this, that sometimes opportunities that we think are lost are actually a blessing in disguise, and that's because the things that we miss were not meant for us. It's hard to remember that sometimes, particularly when we're talking about relationship breakups. We tend to gloss over the stuff that wasn't quite so good and remember all the good times and think, just feel remorse and regret that we're not in that relationship anymore. But actually, if it's ended, it's because it wasn't right for us, and that means the universe is making space for something great to come in. We can't hold on to the old and then still have room for the new. We need to empty our hands, put down our baggage, and have open arms. So this reminds us that the things that we might be seeing as misfortunes or disappointments are actually probably for the best. And there's a saying that there's a reason for everything, and I don't necessarily hold to that, because I think it means that people tend to, really hard, devastating things. If someone tells you that there's a reason for everything, that's not going to help you. I don't think that's a good thing to say necessarily. But sometimes, ultimately, we do realise later on down the track, and it might be decades down the track, that something that we thought was terrible at the time actually was the best thing that could have happened to us. But for sure, some of the most horrific things that we go through, probably we're never going to see them that way. So this is really talking about some of the smaller challenges, the job you didn't get, or the house that you didn't quite manage to outbid for, or anything like that. And what this message says is that what appears to be a problem is part of an answered prayer. So that means that, when we ask the universe for something, there are 3 possible responses. Yes, not yet, I have something better in mind. So if you didn't get a yes, it'll be one of those last 2. Not yet, it's not the right time, or there's something better that the universe is preparing for you, and you can't see that yet. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. We can only ever see this much of the puzzle. The universe can see the whole thing, and it is assuring us that what's happening is for our greatest good, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. So let's move here to Tuesday, the 6th of December. This is, every time I choose this giant deck, I think, oh, what have I done? I'm shuffling this on the internet in front of people where they can see how clumsy I am. That's probably not a good life choice there. It's I think it's about 83 or 84 cards, this one. This particular deck, it's the biggest one I have. Very unwieldy, but it's good, otherwise I wouldn't use it. The moon, Archangel Haniel. Archangel Haniel is associated with the moon and with lunar phases, and remembering that each zone of the lunar cycle is significant. So the full moon is about releasing and harvesting the intentions that we set at the new moon, which is when we sow the seeds. So the new moon's a really good time for you to be setting intentions, and the full moon is a time when we kind of realize those, and if they haven't come to fruition, we ask, why not? What did I do that perhaps wasn't helpful to those to manifesting that, or maybe again it isn't the right time. So we released our expectations around what should, I hate the word should, so I'm putting it in inverted commas there, should have happened, and accepting what is, and releasing any disappointment or resentment around that. So this card says that we've got an opportunity here to improve our plan. So that, repeats what I just said, or reiterates what I just said. And it reminds us that our intuition is always our best guide. So if things aren't working out for you, tune in and ask, what's going on here? What can I do differently? Am I on the wrong path? Maybe, or what do I need to ask for? Help me get into better alignment, and that will help you. Now, every full moon, I do a full moon meditation by Doreen Virtue, who of course created these cards. So it's on YouTube. I think you just type in meditation full moon, or and it's about clearing at the full moon. But there are tons of meditations around. You don't have to do that one necessarily. It's also a time when I typically cleanse my crystals in warm salty water and put them out in the moonlight to soak in the energy, charging them. Also do my cards quite often, leave them on the windowsill so they can get lots of energy, because these cards hold a huge amount of energy, and that's why I clear them after each reading that I do. Make sure they're not holding on to readings from previous clients. I've just realised there's a pair of scissors in the background that are looking like they're coming out of my head. I'm going to move. Okay, so the moon. Now, when I put this card up, I will look up what's actually happening with the moon at this time, and be able to better inform you as to what you need to do. But just start thinking about, when you see this, what's happening with the moon, if you're interested in that. If you're not, don't worry about it. But just start thinking about what you want in your life and where you are in terms of getting that. Make sure you're coming back to your intentions, and make sure that you are not, you haven't gone off track. Okay, that's really all you need to know from that. Wednesday, 7th of December. I love it when they jump out. It makes it so much easier. Cleanse your energy. When you release negativity, the answer to your question shines through. So I just spoke about releasing in terms of the moon. The reason that we need to do this sort of cleansing stuff is because we have an aura around us. And that's what I'm working in when I do Reiki or distance healing. So it picks up negativity from fears, from negative thoughts that we tell ourselves, or from other people. If we're around toxic people, we do take on board the energy, unfortunately. But we don't have to hold it. We can be around it and not take it on. And that's why I do shielding work in my meditations each day to make sure I don't. And particularly before I'm doing a healing session, because I don't want to take on board anyone else's stuff. And what this is saying is that you need to cleanse your energy. You can do this, there are so many ways. A lot of people talk about having a bath with Epsom salts. I don't have a bath, so that's something I can't personally vouch for, but if that works for you, go for it. There's also things like meditation, obviously, is a good one. There are cleansing and shielding meditations that might be helpful. Crystals. Now, African violets are pictured here because they are a great way to cleanse your energy. Are there enough plants in your house and in your office? They absorb toxic energy, particularly African violets. I don't know what happened there. It was a brain fart. What else? Peace lilies are really good. If you Google NASA purifying energy plants or purifying plants, look at the plants that NASA takes into space with the astronauts, so that the astronauts are breathing in clear air, and that will give you some good pointers there. So, and the essence of this card is saying that when you can shed that negative energy that's around you, you'll be able to better tune into your intuition and get the answer to the question that you've got. Thursday, the 8th. Oops. Oh my goodness. No. Sometimes I think it's the right card and then it just doesn't want to come out of the pack, and I think, okay, that's a no. You've got to trust. A lot of working with angel cards is about trust, trusting that the card is right, even if it doesn't seem to be straight away. Well, this particular deck is a little bit sticky. Okay. Healthy lifestyle. Oh, how very boring. Eat healthy, get enough sleep, and drink enough water. Get lots of exercise. It's all the things that health professionals tell us all the time, and it's so boring but so important. For our spiritual kind of growth and health, we need to have that platform of physical health. We need to be in good nick. This is, our body is the house that our soul lives in. The house is not well looked after, the soul is going to suffer. So you need to make sure these things are an absolute priority for you, whatever that means to you. Now, I'm not going to go and tell you to go and buy all the latest superfoods or anything faddish. It's not about being trendy. It's just about getting enough vegetables and fruit, and about making sure there's balance. You're not overindulging. You're getting enough water. So important, enough water. And exercise, I'm not going to tell you to go and do a intense hardcore workout unless that's your thing. I love intensive workouts, so I do those a couple of times a week. But you don't have to. It's more about regular exercise. So it could just be walking constantly, but really commit to doing that because it is absolutely fundamentally important. And this card says you're letting it slide. I know that's really busy this time of year. It's hard this time of year when we're so busy, but just do what you can. Don't beat yourself up too much if you're struggling to tick all those boxes, but really make sure that you don't let it slide too much. So Friday the 9th. Yeah, it's the 9th. Usually I put a calendar up, but I forgot today. So what's in store for us? Oh dear. Just dropped the deck. Reiterating that message about being clumsy. But sometimes I think that happens because the angels need a really good shuffle to make sure that the cards go back in the right order that they want them to be, so I can get the right card for you guys. Gosh, they're really making me wait today. Probably a lesson about patience in there, I think. Mystic, keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Okay, that's a good one if you feel like you're hitting resistance. Bear in mind that hurdles that come up are only temporary, and it might be just that it's, again, not the right time. So don't quit is the central message here. Do not give up if things are not going quite as you'd like them to be. It doesn't mean it's not meant to be necessarily. It might just be the wrong time. Keep going. Like this horse, keep charging ahead, and believe that things that you cannot see are possible. They're absolutely possible. So things are going to work out even though you can't necessarily see that yet. So looking at the week ahead, we've got an interesting variety here. We've got being able... I think the theme here, if there is one, is about letting go. Letting go of your disappointment around things that didn't work out and understanding that they were meant to be and that actually that will work out to be a good thing. Letting go around the full moon and also sowing seeds around the new moon, depending on where we are in the lunar cycle. Letting go of bad energy and getting your health and your physical well-being back on track, and moving ahead really with what you set out to do. So there's also a bit about in here about staying true to what you set out to do, and we saw that with this here. Card here too, the moon on Tuesday. So that's the cards for this week. I'll put them on my social media. I do go into more detail, so if you're not sure, just wait for that to come up. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel and my Facebook page is OneGroundedAngel, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel as well if you want to get the latest readings each week. I usually post them Sunday night Australian time for the week ahead, but sometimes if I'm away or something happens it might be slightly earlier, but I'll also always notify you anyway on social media when they're live. Thank you so much for your time and for your support and the love that you keep sending me. I'm sending it back to you, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to reading for you again next week. Take care.